Recently, I was at a book launch for a friend, and somebody came up to me there. His name is Michael, and he was at a conference that Will and I spoke at a couple months ago. And he came up and he made a reference. We led an exercise to close out the conference and create meaning at the end, where we invited we had a bunch of our We Engage cards laid out that have a photo on one side. And we invited everybody to choose a card that represented one takeaway that they knew they wanted to leave and never forget from this conference. And Michael made a reference to this specific card of a tricycle that was locked to a pole and shared about why he chose it and how he was really seeking to unlock something, a challenge that he was working on. Really neat one that stuck 2 months later. But then right after he shared that with me, he said, "Ooh, Chad, I have a question for you. I'm getting this group of leaders in sustainability together around the globe to talk about what we're doing to make a dent in climate-related issues. And we're meeting in every time zone. We're using Zoom. We're having this virtual meeting. How do I make virtual meetings not terrible?" And this question created a really great conversation, which was actually kind of funny because the book launch that I was at was for a friend, Sherry Torres, who wrote a book called Conversations Worth Having. And there at the book launch, totally had a conversation that was worth having. So I went on to share that I think most of the time services, technology-related services, or even people-related services that offer ideas on how to make virtual meetings better ask the wrong question. And that question is, how do we make this most like being in person? But I don't think, at least in the next 5 years, that's not going to happen because you can't touch somebody else. You can't be with them. You can't see all the context that's going around. You just get this screen, this box, chest up, my wall, and that's it. So I think the right question, or maybe the question that has more potential embedded in it, is what can we do on virtual meetings that actually are better than meeting in person? And having worked with clients facilitating virtual meetings and trained some of our clients to facilitate their own virtual meetings more effectively, more engagingly, I've got some ideas. And so the intention of the resources below that we're sharing is in hopes that you can create conversations that really matter and meetings that are worth showing up to in your own organization using some of these ideas to crack this virtual meeting thing, because we're going to continue talking digitally, and everybody's experienced drop calls and technology issues, and Sally's Wi-Fi is not working, and Bob's never used Zoom, and all of these issues coming together. How can we mediate some of those by really cultivating a culture of connection, creating some connection before content, and then some other facilitation techniques that make meeting virtually better. I hope you enjoy. If you like it, like it. If you really like it, comment. If you really, really like it, go ahead and share it. And if you're like, holy smokes, I have too many virtual meetings that absolutely stink, go find our newsletter somewhere, because Will and I will continue to share resources around how to create conversations that matter and amplify connection, belonging, and trust in your own virtual meetings. Super good to connect here. Thanks for spending the time and investing your own time resource to watch this and read this. And I hope it makes a dent in your life and creates a conversation that matters. Cheers.